Hey guys, how's it going? Good! Okay, so unfortunately today I will not be showing you how to play a song. Yes, I know, I'm sorry, but I did previously say that I'm going to take a short break from having to learn or relearn a new song every week, and just for a little while I'm going to do some different kinds of videos, I suppose you could say. Yes, and in that spirit, today I'm going to show you which one of my guitars is my favourite. So, which one of my 4 electric guitars is my favourite? I'm thinking some of you probably already know the answer to this, but for those of you who don't, here it is. That's right, you guessed it. I think it was pretty obvious, wasn't it, seeing as this guitar features in the majority of my videos. It is my Mexican Fender Stratocaster in Daphne Blue, the first decent guitar that I ever bought. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. This guitar is a simple, made in Mexico Fender Stratocaster. It was made in 2010, and when I first bought it, it looked slightly different to how it looks now. The colour of it was Lake Placid blue, and it had 3 single coil pickups. Obviously, as you can now see, things have changed ever so slightly. So what I did was I sanded down the body and resprayed it with Daphne Blue nitrocellulose guitar paint. Yeah, that was a sort of a no-brainer really, because when I was growing up I always wanted a Daphne Blue Stratocaster, so yeah, I've managed to fulfill that wish, I suppose you could say. And also what I did was I removed the single coil pickup from the bridge position and replaced it with a Seymour Duncan SH5 humbucker, which sounds absolutely badass. I think maybe at some point in the future I might upgrade the pots and stuff like that, but to be honest I think it sounds pretty good as it is right now, so yeah, no rush. Although this guitar was made in 2010, I actually bought it in 2011. Yes, that's right, 1 whole year after its manufacture. Yeah, it was an ex-demo guitar, and it had some minor damage to the paintwork just there, like a few cracks, and there was bits of like flakes of paint missing and stuff like that. And because of that, it was only £300 as opposed to a brand new one, which at the time was around 500-ish. So, you know, I think I got a pretty good deal, really. The music shop that I bought it from was my local guitar shop at that time, and what I used to do was probably go in there about 3 times a week and just walk up and down, just trying out the different guitars and all that kind of thing. Mostly Fenders, because I was pretty much a Fender fanboy back in the day. I still do love them because I've got 2 Stratocasters and a Telecaster as well, so obviously I do like Fender guitars. I love Gibson as well though, because I do have a Les Paul as well, which is a wicked guitar, which I do need to use more often. But irrespective of that, yeah, I used to go into this guitar shop about 3 times a week and basically just fondle the guitars. So yeah, I got a pretty good idea for what I liked when it came to like necks and all that kind of thing. I mean, at the time I had a Stag Stratocaster. Well, I suppose you could call it a Stratocaster. It was a Strat copy made by a company called Stag. And it was not a good guitar. I'm not going to be, you know, I'm not being horrible about cheap guitars, but it wasn't good. It didn't sound great and it played horribly, do you know what I mean? Maybe if I knew how to set guitars up better at the time, I could have got more out of it, but yeah, going into a guitar shop and trying out guitars that were like perfectly set up and everything, it was, you know, it was like a game changer in a way. And yeah, the Fenders that were in there at the time, like I said, were about 500 quid, and I really wasn't up for paying that much just for a guitar at that time, because I was only about, what, 22, 23, something like that. So yeah, when I saw this one for £300, I pretty much just said, take my money. Happily, take my money. Yeah, you know, I sort of like grabbed it and felt the neck and everything, and I was like, oh, this feels really good, you know, this is a really, like, this guitar really speaks to me. I remember I plugged it into like a tiny little amplifier they had set up and everything, and I sort of messed about with pedals and all that kind of thing, but I mainly just sat there and just played like Chili Peppers and Nirvana and stuff like that. And yeah, I just fell in love with it basically, and yeah, just gave them my money and just walked home with a smile on my face. It was a good day. So fast forward several years, I sanded it down and resprayed it Daphne Blue, which, like I said, is the colour I always wanted in a Stratocaster. And even if I do say so myself, I did an immaculate job on it. It was perfect. You know, I used nitrocellulose lacquer and all that kind of thing. Sanded it down, buffed it down. It was perfect. And then I started going on the internet a lot more and seeing relic guitars. And I kind of fell in love with that whole kind of look. I mean, not heavy relics, just, you know, minor damage and all that kind of thing. I really sort of like fell in love with that kind of idea. So I ended up sanding it down again and respraying it again. And then this time not using the lacquer, just, you know, using the shine that inherently is in the paint itself kind of thing. And yeah, so I resprayed it, buffed it down and everything to a certain degree, not too much, because I wanted it to have a slightly rough finish to it. And then I just kind of like bashed it up a bit and reliced it. Yeah, the relic job on it is not, you know, like a legit job or anything. It's literally just, you know, my own interpretation of what relicing is, I suppose. Yeah, I didn't want to go for that whole like heavy relic kind of idea. Just minor damage, you know, sort of like what you think a guitar would sort of end up sort of looking like after several years of playing, I guess you could say. Yeah, just a workhorse guitar basically. So yeah, not only is this my favourite guitar that I own, but it's also my favourite guitar that I've ever played as well. I just love the neck on it, you know, it's got such a great neck. And yeah, the Seymour Duncan humbucker sounds incredible. And like I said, it probably could do with some upgrades on the pots and stuff like that in the future, because obviously it goes from 1 to 10, but in reality it's more like sort of 1 to 5, maybe 1 to 4 kind of thing, in the way that it sort of like rolls off the volume and all that kind of business and the tone. But yeah, everything on it still works perfectly and all that. It's you know, considering the fact it looks battered and beaten up, it's in great condition because, you know, I've set it up quite nicely, and yeah, I think it sounds pretty good. So that's the reason why I use it in the majority of my videos, is just because I'm so comfortable playing it. And yeah, it's almost like sort of shaking hands with an old friend, you know, it just fits, it feels great. So yeah, I mean, what more else is there to say, I guess? I'm sure you guys all feel the same about your particular guitars as well. I think all of us probably have a favourite out of, you know, the guitars that we own. But yeah, for me, this one is mine. So yeah, that's my favourite guitar. I think, like I said at the beginning, it was pretty obvious that I was going to pick that one as my favourite, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. It's the one that sort of like I've had the longest out of all the, you know, decent guitars that I've got. I think it's the one that looks the best, the one that sounds the best, and the one that feels the best. So basically, it just ticks all of those boxes kind of thing. And also, because it was made in 2010, that's also the same year that I met my wife as well. So it has kind of like a double significance in that respect, I guess. Yeah, it's just the stars aligned that day, do you know what I mean? It was just the perfect guitar for me at that time. And I've learned quite a lot on that thing as well. So yeah, like I said, it's like an old friend, you know. I feel like it's something that's been in my sort of like, you know, it's been with me all these years, and hopefully for many more years to come as well. So yeah, I'm sorry I didn't do a tutorial or cover with tabs or whatever it is I normally do, you know, but I just wanted to do something different. And you know, what with 2020 being what it is at the moment, I have finally managed to get back to work, so hey, that's good. Yeah, I don't know what the future holds at the moment, but obviously not being furloughed anymore, I don't have all the time in the world, so I'm going to try and get back to some kind of like structured kind of like, you know, way of doing things again, a routine, I suppose you could say. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and I will start doing covers again soon, but I just need to sort of get everything arranged and get things sorted out and sort of like fall back into the groove of like reality, I suppose you could say, whatever. Yeah, if you have enjoyed the video, please feel free to hit like and subscribe and all those awesome things you guys always do. Thank you for being so patient. I realise the reason you guys are subbed to me is because of the fact that I teach you how to play songs, so I will get back to doing that soon, but until then, take it easy guys, stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Peace.